Welcome to another episode of the Story of Podcast. I'm your host, Kwam, and today, for my first time ever, I'm interviewing two people. So we have...
The Thomas family.
Yeah, the Thomas family. I'm Amonnie.
And it's your boy, Chef Pop.
And welcome to my show, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you guys are here.
Yes.
So I recently started adding like segments to my show to kind of keep like a flow of things.
Yeah.
Right.
I only did it in one episode so far, so I might have to think about it in between,
Yeah.
but like work with me.
Okay.
So we'll start by just like, I don't know, kind of introducing you guys to like the audience, like, so we said your name already, like what do you do for work, where are you from, and one fun fact about you.
Okay. So for work, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Working hard.
Oh, yeah.
I'm from, I guess I'll say I'm from Bloomfield because I wasn't born here. I was born in Arizona, but I've really been here my whole life. So I'm from Bloomfield, went to elementary, middle, high school, all those good things there. Yeah, one fun fact?
Yeah.
One fun fact. Oh, God. I don't know. I like to talk.
Okay.
Like, I really didn't think I was a talker, but then once I get going, like, I realized that I actually like to talk.
I love that.
So I think that's a fun fact that pretty much probably nobody knows.
Yeah.
I think that's a really,
For sure. Yeah, because you sometimes act like you ain't even talking, but you really are.
But I actually am, yeah.
When you comfortable and you get around people you like.
Yeah.
I just don't stop for some reason.
I love that. I'm going to move this a tiny bit closer to you.
Okay.
Right.
There we go. Okay, and your turn.
Alright, and I'm Chef Pop, born and raised in Hartford. Grew up in Hartford a little bit, and then I moved schools, I would say like early middle school. Went to school in West Hartford, graduated from West Hartford. Fun fact about me is I knew I wanted to cook from the time I was young, and before I even knew what cooking was. I remember like being in preschool, and I always used to say I wanted to be a chef.
So what's your job?
Oh, my job. I own 2 restaurants, chef, owner of 2 restaurants right now, and we are trying to scale this thing up, so.
Love that. Wait, what's your fun fact?
Oh, yeah.
Or was that your fun fact?
Yeah, the fun fact is,
okay.
yeah, I knew what I wanted to do since I was young. Probably
Yeah.
like first grade, I knew I wanted to be a chef.
How did you come across that like discovery?
I don't know. I really don't. Like before I even knew what cooking was, that's really what I always said I wanted to do. And then I started to like learn what it was and watch shows, and then eventually I started experimenting in the kitchen. I'm like, dang, this is really what I really want to do.
Yeah.
So cooking is like fun to you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is cooking fun to you?
I can cook.
Yes.
I don't know if it's fun for me though.
No.
Like he always wants to do cooking videos together, and I'm just like,
I traumatized her.
it's not. Yeah, because we were in the trenches for so long. Like it's not enjoyable for me. It really isn't. Like I cook every single day. Obviously, my kids gotta eat, but like it's not fun.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I feel that. I don't really find it very fun
Yeah.
either. Like, I love that you're so passionate about it. I love watching
Yeah.
videos. You always seem so happy and thrilled to be doing it. And I'm just like, I wish that could be me.
Like, right. I try. Like
It's funny because more people, I feel like more people have that outlook on
really. I think so many people now really like the aesthetic of cooking, and like I don't know. I think people like it now. Even like when like I don't know, basketball stars and stuff like that, when they fall off or whatever, they start cooking.
Yeah, true.
Like,
true.
you know what I'm
That
saying?
is-
Like everybody take cookbooks, everybody
Yeah,
takes
yeah,
up cooking. Like
You're right.
it's like their new past life type of thing.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
You're right.
Yeah, but not us. So I'm happy I'm not alone on that. How many children do you have?
You have 2.
Nice.
Yes, 2.
Yes, 2 little girls.
And how is it being like, was it you guys' how do I want to say this? It was both you guys' first and second kid?
Yes.
Oh yeah, all our kids together have been together because we've been together since we were 19.
Yeah.
Both of us. So yeah,
Wow.
everything is like first for everything.
Yeah.
But yeah,
How is it being new parents?
It's great.
it's good.
It's
yeah.
great. It's just a lot of learning, a lot of trial and error. But like, I feel like if you go into it with grace, it's easier because like sometimes becoming a parent, you have these preset expectations like, oh, I got to do this or I got to do that, which is natural. But you gotta also have to see like what the reality of being a parent is, and you're not always good.
But also, we didn't rush being parents.
Right.
Because we got together at 19. We had our first kid, Nova. Really, we were like what 27.
Yeah.
Or 26, something, 26 or something. But we had already been together for like 6-7 years before we had a kid. So we really talked about having children years before we even had our kid. I think that made like a huge difference.
Yes, for sure.
As opposed to having a kid like early on in our relationship and trying to navigate the relationship on top of trying to navigate parenthood, which is chaotic.
But parenthood is great because like you know what you experienced growing up, and then you get to be the change that you want to see. So like you know what you like or what you didn't like as a kid, and now being a parent, you could see to it that your kids won't see the same struggles or. And that's what I like most about it.
Yeah. So you guys would say it was very like intentional with having
Yes.
your children.
Super intentional.
Very intentional.
I love that. Okay, so let's kind of dive into some of my segments now.
Okay.
The first one, and the way I'm gonna do it, like today, since it's both you guys, I'm gonna kind of bounce back and forth between like solo experiences and then like dual experiences. So the first segment is called, and these names, don't judge. They might change, but first one is called Throwback. And so pretty much we're gonna take it back to like the beginning of like your earliest memories and things like that. And again, like I said, like solo and together. So we'll start with you, Amonnie. What is one of your like earliest memories that you have?
Like childhood memories?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's crazy because a lot of my memory, like before I came to Connecticut, because before I got to Connecticut, I was in North Carolina. And a lot of memories are like shifted in my brain. Like I can't remember a lot of things before I was in Connecticut. But I'm gonna just go to my earliest memory when I got here, because that's really when I started remembering like my childhood. And I think I came here when I was around like 7 or 8. And literally my first memory is when I got here was going to school, and I'll never forget, I think it was like a snow day or something, and we were all like, everybody was sitting in the hallway, and I'm like, this is weird, like what's going on here? And it's just like kids just like all along the hallway, just sitting in the hallway. And I just remember like one girl coming up to me and she was like, hey, like you could be a part of our crew. And I was just like, okay, like sure, like let's do it. But I think that's like my first memory that I have here. I don't have much memory of like before I got here, besides like one little clip I remember when my grandmother came and got me and my sister. I was probably like 4, and I remember we came from a airplane ride from Arizona, and my sister cried the entire time. And I just remember just sitting there being like, can this little girl shut up? And I think that's like the earliest like little snippet of a memory I have from like when I was 4 years old.
Question about the school thing. Why were y'all sitting in the hallway?
I think it was like a snow day, and typically you would go outside to like, you know, play in the morning before school would start. But since I guess it was like snowing or raining or something outside, everybody had to sit inside instead of like, you know, playing or whatever, and wait for our teachers to like get in class and come or something like that. Yeah, that's all I can remember.
I mean, that's fine. I love random memories like that. I be having little like throwback memories like that too. Like, oh yeah, that one time. And then it's like just a glimpse of a situation. That's it.
And then, you have no context. You're like, dang, what was that about?
Why?
But it's so funny because like even like the girl who said that to me, or like the friends that I made during that time, I like continue to go to school with them all the way up through like high school and stuff like that. So it's just funny to like think about like where we started and then
where you are now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Let's hear your earliest memory.
One of my earliest memories is when I was young, like probably maybe 4 or 5. What grade is first grade?
That's not 4 or 5.
Okay, so what grade
first grade is like 6 or 7.
Okay, so 6 or 7. Sorry, I always say, you know, I always.
I don't be knowing either. I'm just like, well, my niece is 3, so I don't think it's 4.
So yeah, when I was young, I don't know why, but I thought I was the fastest kid ever. So like, I had this thing where I used to try to beat a car across the street. So like,
what? Chicken?
Ask my mom. I used to play chicken all the time. So I specifically remember there was this one time where I don't know. I was literally like a squirrel brain when I was a kid, but I just walked out of the corner store on Evergreen, the corner store right at the corner.
Yeah.
And there's a car flying up the street. And I was like, let me see if I could beat him across the street.
Oh my gosh.
Why did I run into the car door? And he just boofed me and kept going. And like literally, I ran into the car, fell on the floor, and right as I fell, like this nurse came out of the gas station that I was running to. And he came across the street. He was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I was okay. I mean, I literally just ran into the door and just scratched my knees up on the floor. But I don't know what I used to think about at that age. But I really thought I was the fastest person. And then wait. The funny thing is, I used that to blackmail my sisters for probably about 2 weeks because I used to tell them like, y'all was supposed to walk me home and y'all left me. And I'm gonna tell mommy that I got hit by a car now.
You're crazy.
It worked for like 2 weeks and they just got tired of me, so.
No, that's crazy.
But yeah, that was funny. And it's funny because like literally one of my mom's friends literally beat me because I did it when she came to pick me up from school.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like,
that's what you deserve.
And she was like, yes, Christy, I'm sorry. I had to do it because I thought about what I would have had to tell you if he got hit by a car.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that was crazy. It was a crazy time.
That's questionable.
Yeah, very questionable.
Very.
I have a lot of parts of my life that was like that, which is kind of crazy, but that's probably one of the earliest memories. Like, I just really used to think I was so fast.
Okay, nice. I'm a little like lost for words for that.
Yeah.
But I love that. How many siblings do you have?
I got 5 sisters.
Wow, okay. Are you like the youngest or oldest?
So I have 4 older and then 1 younger. So technically, yes, I am the youngest because my sister didn't come like
10 years
till
after.
10 years
Yeah.
after. But
Yeah, is that weird for you to have like such a age gap?
I just wish my little sister came a little bit sooner so she could have been a little bit deeper in the trenches with me sometimes. But you know, no, it wasn't that weird. It wasn't weird at all because I mean, 3 of my sisters, my oldest sister, she didn't live with us, but my other 3 sisters, we all lived together, and I mean, just was what it was. I was just a young one.
Yeah.
I had to listen to whatever they were saying.
One of my family friends, she was like an only child her whole life until like 9th grade, and then she had a sister, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like,
It happened to me so many times. Yeah.
It's so odd.
Yeah,
It is odd.
Yeah.
It is though. Like, it's like, man, you're pretty much, even in your parents' eyes, like their kids are all grown almost, and you start all the way over.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what are you thinking?
I know now I would never want to be in that position.
Yeah.
Once my kids are like 18, I'm not going back. I don't want to go back because like that's the age where you start to really just enjoy your wife, you know, your spouse. You're like, you know what? I did it with my kids. They grown now, so I could do my thing. But.
Yeah, it's crazy. I even went to her sister's sweet 16 like last month, and we're like 27, 28. It's so crazy.
Like, what is happening?
And I know a little more about like your background already, but I guess for viewers' sake, how many siblings do you have?
13. Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And then I have 2. My youngest 2 brothers are only like 12.
Wow.
And I'm almost 30.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's weird.
Yeah.
And even like my uncle that I grew up with, his daughter and my daughter are the same age.
Oh my gosh.
So he started all over again too, because his youngest daughter is 23. And we're at their house last night, and I'm just looking at him, I'm like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
We have kids the same age. Like, what is this about? Like, you just turned 53. Like, what's going on? But yeah.
Okay, so now I'm interested to see if you guys would have the same answer. What's you guys' earliest memory of like each other? I don't like asking people how did you meet, because sometimes, at least for me, it'd be questionable ways. But I guess if that's the earliest memory, like you could share that out, but like, what would it be?
The earliest memory, I'm gonna say no. I wouldn't say mine because like I don't want to forget it.
Yeah, go ahead.
But the earliest memory I have other ones of like texting, but like when I actually met him and seen him is when we went on our first date to the movies, and like we're watching Fast and Furious, one of them.
Fast Five.
Yes, one of them. And then he went and put his hand on me, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh my god, he's touching me. Like, I'm literally just like, oh my god, he's touching me. Okay, so this is what's happening right now. He didn't do nothing crazy. He's just like this, like holding my leg, and but like that's like probably one of the first memories I remember.
Okay.
All right,
would you
wait.
be the same?
So do you mean the first memory of like before we like when we actually met, or just because our situation is a
He
little
met
weird?
me first.
Yeah,
Before I met him.
So
Okay.
I went to school with someone who knew her,
Yeah.
and I don't know how, some way somehow she got brought up in the conversation that we were having, and she showed us a picture, just like she was just going through her pictures, and they were in a picture together. So I was like, damn! I seen the girl. I was like, yo, who's that? Like, so after she showed me that picture, it just pretty much went ghost. Like I didn't see nothing of her. I couldn't find her social media or nothing, and I was like, I was literally on a quest. I'm like, damn, she showed me this girl this one time. I've never seen her again. I gotta find her Instagram because I gotta see her. And then one day I stumbled across her Twitter, and I was like, oh, this is her. Yeah. I made a move right away.
So ours are definitely different.
Yeah.
Because he met me before I even knew him.
Yeah, I know about her.
And how long was it between you seeing that first picture and then really finding her?
Maybe like 6 to 9 months probably.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, and it was crazy because
You
like,
were on a quest.
yeah, I was on a quest. I was really on a quest, and it's funny because I literally let it go. I was looking at her and I was like, you know what, it is what it is. if it's meant to be, I'm gonna find her page eventually, some way, somehow. And I guess it was meant to be. It all ended up working out.
Yeah. And you guys are married now?
Yes.
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
2 years.
2 years.
Well, almost 2 years. In like 3 months, it'll be 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you engaged for like a period of time before you got married?
Yeah.
So we got engaged
2020.
Yeah, at our daughter's gender reveal.
Nice.
Yeah, daughter's gender reveal.
Nice.
2020. Yeah. So like maybe we got married in what, 2022? Man, I forget. 23. What were we in? 25?
Yeah.
23. Yeah, we got married in 23. So we were engaged for like 3 years.
Nice. And because I don't know, because I'm not married, I've never been married. During the time that you're like engaged and you're like waiting to get married, like, is there anything different? Is it like, I don't know, like, I don't know how it would feel.
I feel like, do you feel like it was different?
So, I could say from a man's perspective, like, when you finally propose to your woman, it just shows, like,
the seriousness.
Like that you're serious.
Yeah, like it solidifies your spot.
It solidifies you as a man to say like, yeah, I'm not here to just play around. Like I'm really
That's what I
about
was
to take
gonna
this
say.
serious.
Like,
so,
yeah, it makes the relationship feel a little bit more official,
and
even
then,
in the eyes of other people.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
The eyes of other people, they know like, okay, this is a real thing.
Right.
This is not just, you know what I'm saying. So I feel like once I proposed, I just felt good because I'm like letting everyone know like this is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's the same for me too. I think it was like more solidified in other people's eyes.
Yeah.
But like for us, it kind of felt different, but low key more stressful because it's like that whole time you're like kind of planning the wedding.
Exactly.
Which is like, oh my God. But it did feel like good, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like you've been together for like so long, it's like, all right, now it's time to move to the next step. It's like, you know, get married, have kids, like do the next stuff. So it was like a breath of fresh air too. It was like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And have you both always wanted to be married one day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I was married for sure. It's funny though because when I was planning to propose to her, so we had a birthday trip to the
because I had something to say.
Listen up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for her, I proposed probably like a week before her birthday. And for her birthday trip, we were planning to go to New York, and I was originally going to do it out there, but then I was just like, I'm gonna do it out there. No family is gonna be a part of this moment. We're not gonna be able to capture it. It's just gonna be more of a me and her thing. And I was like, wow, I'm so thankful that I thought about this when I did.
Yeah, because we had so many people there.
Yeah. So many people had decided to come to our dinner event, and I was like, this is the perfect time. You know what I'm saying? At least everyone's there.
But I knew I low key knew he was about to do it because he's not
I'm
a great
kinda
planner.
Really bad.
He's very last minute. And we stopped at the mall before we
to go pick up the damn ring.
And I didn't know he was picking up the ring, but I'm just like,
what were you doing at the mall?
What were we doing at the mall? My
and I
friend
didn't come out the mall with nothing.
He didn't come out the mall with nothing. And my friend planned the whole entire gender reveal. Like she got all the canisters and everything, cupcakes, whatever. So I'm just like,
what are we doing
at the mall? What are we doing here? We went inside. We're running kind of late. And we had to stop here. I'm just like, this is us. Like, you know, like, this is us. Like, whatever. But I was just like, all right, I'm gonna let you have it.
Yeah.
But you want to know a funny story that I don't think many people know?
What?
Remember, they almost had to cut my engagement ring off the night after we got engaged.
Yes.
Why?
Because I was pregnant and my finger, when I wore it, my finger swelled up so bad. Like it was literally sticking. Like we were in the emergency room and they're like trying for like an hour or so, and it was so painful. They like were wrapping yarn around me, doing so many things, and they're like, they called in the fire department. He was standing there with these big pliers, and I was like, no, like if I gotta scream my head off, get this ring off me. And the last second, because my finger was like blue, like it was almost black, and they're like, you're gonna lose your finger, and I was like, get it, and he finally got it off, and I was just like,
thank God.
I just got this ring.
Oh my gosh, I would have been stressed.
Girl, it was crazy. I'm just like, why?
It's
like,
so funny
how
though,
this happened?
looking back at the pictures, the engagement pictures,
I knew I should have.
Her finger was swollen.
So
like,
swollen.
It looked like it was.
So it's
too
like,
tight.
why did I even try to put it on? But I was just like, listen, I'm engaged. I'm putting this baby on.
Yeah, right. I would have been doing the same thing. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow. What was the yarn for? Why didn't they just like
so
put
pretty
oil?
much you put the oil didn't work. We did everything, but pretty much what happens if you put the yarn on this side and you slide a little piece through, for some reason it will unravel it and slide
because
your
it
finger.
it shrinks the area like it.
Right. It shrinks the base,
the
right?
Skin,
the skin,
yeah.
so it can get smaller to slide off. But
That's insane.
My heart is racing thinking about that. It was crazy. It was
yeah,
crazy.
that sounds like a little traumatizing.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so back to growing up and stuff like that. Yeah. So you grew up mainly here, you would say? 100%. And how was that? Did you grow up with like all your siblings, some of your siblings?
No, so I only grew up with my sister Taya, and then we grew up with our 3 cousins in the same house, and that's all. But my brothers, I have 3 brothers, younger brothers, and they live in Mass, so they weren't far. And then I have an older brother who also lives in Mass, and he wasn't far either. So I've seen them like often.
Yeah. Would you say that you had like a lot of responsibility growing up?
Yeah, because I was kind of like the oldest in the house. Like my cousin, he was the same age as me, but you know, boys like mentally and they don't develop as maturely as girls do. So like I was kind of in charge of everybody. Even though if he watches this, I know he will say otherwise. But you cook it in the microwave will prove my point. Like,
right,
no,
that's not gonna cut
it. So like yeah, I was pretty much the oldest in the house. So I did have like a lot of responsibility. Even when I went to my dad's house, my younger brothers, like I would always take them out to the mall and stuff like that. People would be looking at me like I'm only like 15 with 3 little kids, and I'm like, so are those your kids? And I was like, no. Yeah. But yeah, I was always a mature kid. Yeah. I think many people will say that. Even looking at my daughter now, and she's 3, she like embodies me. She's a very, very mature kid. Like she has her moments of being a 3-year-old, but really she's like a mature kid and reminds me so much of me. Yeah. Yeah.
That must be cool to see. Like, wow, I made
it's
you.
It's weird
just
though,
like me.
because it's like I went through stuff, you know, to be mature, and I'm like, you don't do much. Like, you know, you go swimming and like have fun and like, you know. So it's so funny that she still has that personality. Yeah. It's strange, but it's cool.
So maybe for you, it like there's things that build you to that, but also low key is just who you are.
And who I am. Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, definitely. I think so.
And what about you? So growing up for you, you said you had like, did you live with all your sisters?
3 of them.
Okay.
My oldest sister.
Minus the
oldest. And the youngest one when she came.
Yeah, when she was born. Yeah.
Do you feel like living with so many women like gave you a broader outlook on life versus other guys?
So one thing that I can say is living with women, it made me just like inherently respect them. Like naturally, I just took to the side of I don't disrespect women. I'm not gonna just be out here like putting my hands on them, you know what I'm saying? Even though me and my sisters used to fight growing up, it just made me respect them from a stance of just like, wow, I'm not gonna, like, I don't know, it just made me respect them, really. Yeah. So like, even at my core, I just couldn't do anything to a woman that made me feel like I was disrespecting her. So like, I could say that's probably the biggest thing that I took away from growing up with all women. Yeah. And I mean, it was a big impact for me just because like, I'm happy that I had that experience because like it bothers me to a core when I see certain things today and I'm just like how could you do that? But,
yeah, and your daughters must be really blessed to have you as a dad.
Like, oh, we knew, even my dad, well, for the first time when we were pregnant, he's like, yeah, it's gonna be a girl. He's a girl dad. He's a girl dad. He's a girl dad. Yeah. Because he really embodies like a girl dad. Like how you said, like he was like he learned to be respectful towards women. I feel like sometimes he gets things about women that probably typical guys wouldn't, just because he had the first-hand like experience of being around women for his whole life.
Yeah, right. So it was like second nature to me. Really.
Yeah. So would you say he's a good support system when you're menstruating?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Even when I'm pregnant, all those type of things. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm the best.
Okay, period. Say that then.
Nah, because like I'm her nurse, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Happens,
you know what? Actually, yes, because he literally like I mean like with birth, and then I was in an accident for like, and I was in the hospital for a really long time.
Like a car accident?
I was in a truck accident, so like I had back surgery. I had to get my spine like repaired. And for that whole time I was in the hospital, I didn't even have a nurse. He literally, like TMI, but he was like working on my butt, like getting me changed, all those type of things. Like he didn't even let the nurse like do anything. They're like, oh my god, like we've never seen this before. Like especially with like a younger guy, they were all like really shocked. But
wow, that's so nice.
Yeah, it was nice. That's when I knew I was like, gotta keep it.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay, so my next segment that I have is what is the name of it? Sorry guys, see I told you, I might forget them. It's The story of when, ...
Yeah.
So this is when you can like tell me like a story that happened, whether it's like a pivotal moment or like a funny story or like anything. I low-key want to hear about the truck thing though, because did you guys go through that together?
Yes.
Okay, would you mind telling me about it?
So,
the story of when my husband broke my back.
Literally broke her back.
Broke my back.
Yeah, so we just got back from Miami, and my truck was in the shop, and I was like, okay.
Okay, wait. When was this? Like, how old were you guys?
2019.
2019. So it was like June 2019.
And specify the truck.
Tractor trailer.
Okay.
Tractor trailer, yeah, right.
Tractor trailer, yeah. So I drove trucks for about 6-7 years, but prior to all that, this is probably my second or third year driving. I had dropped my truck off at the shop before we went to Miami
to get repairs.
To get some repairs done, and when I picked it up, I'm like, oh, okay, great. Got it repaired, whatever. So we ready to hit the road. So we was on our way to
back to Connecticut,
New York. We're headed to New York.
Oh well, for the next day, but we're headed back to Connecticut.
So picked up my truck in Boston. Was going back. We had just gotten to Connecticut as well. There's an exit. I think it's 69 or 71, Wellington, Connecticut. And something was just like, yo, stop and get some food from Burger King, because there's this Burger King at the truck stop. So I went to stop, and
we went to take the exit.
Take the exit, yeah. So when I went to take the exit, I was able to slow the truck down, and I got it down to about 45 miles an hour.
No, first of all, when we were taking the exit, he was like, the truck is not slowing down. And I'm like, what do you mean the truck
at
is
first, it's because we were going highway speed. So I was able to get the truck from 65 down to 45.
Right.
And then after I got to 45,
he's like, it's not
the brakes sunk in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn. I was like, so at first I'm thinking like it was me. So I pumped the brakes a couple times, and then it sunk all the way in, and I was like, oh, shit.
He's like, the brakes aren't working.
The brakes aren't working, yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what the heck do you mean the brakes aren't working? Like, we're about to take an exit.
And the exit is literally like a turn, so you got to go around a corner type thing. So I was just prepping her like, yo, it's not stopping. Like, there's no brakes. So I was just doing my best to try to brace the truck to kind of make it around the turn without.
It's crazy,
yeah, because like,
at the end of the turn,
like,
it was only a left or a right.
Right.
You couldn't go straight. There was no straight. It was a cliff.
Yeah, right.
There was no straight. So he had to turn the truck
as best as I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my goal was just like, at least let me try to brace the truck to make it around this corner, and then God, you got to help me the rest of the way. So we were able to make it around the corner, and then when we made it around the corner,
it's crazy because I could see us like falling, you know what I'm saying? Because there was no cars, luckily, because we could have hit somebody because it was an intersection.
Yeah.
But there was no cars, luckily. But we're going, and like the truck is falling, and as it's falling, a pickup truck is coming, and you can see him like getting out the car, so because he knows like he's about to help us.
Yeah.
So like as we're falling, he's getting out the car to come and help us already before we even fell, and then we said boom,
and we fell on her side of the truck.
So the truck fell on my side,
Yeah.
And then like within 2 seconds, he literally took his seatbelt off, dropped down, and came and got me because I was screaming. I'm like, my back is like hurting, like I can't move. So the pickup truck guy, he wanted us to climb out the top, and I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, because I'm looking, at first I was like, damn.
Climb out the top door,
I'm looking, I'm like, damn, we gotta get out of the top. I'm looking at her.
There's no way. So he literally kicked out the windshield. Yeah. And like the matter of like 30 seconds, kicked out the windshield, and we walked through the windshield and sat on the side of the road. So like, help came and stuff like that. And then I'm telling him like, wait, our dog was in the truck with us. Yeah. He went back for our dog. He said our dog was like hemmed up, like in the trunk. He was really pinned up, like against a dresser that kind of fell over the top of him. He wasn't hurt, but it's just like, it kind of pinned him up a little bit. I was like, wow, it's crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, at that moment, like that literally brought our life down to a complete stop, because we neither of us was anticipating anything like that. And the crazy thing is, like, after the accident happened and we're in the ambulance, I'm like telling him, like, call my grandmother, like, let her know what's going on, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, she's fine. I'm in the back. I'm like, I am not fine. Like, no, because he likes to be, like, really nonchalant about things.
What I would say by she's fine is she's alive. She's not dead.
But also,
but
too, he's a very nonchalant type of guy, because, like, he will downplay a lot of things, like, and make it seem like way less than it is. I'm like, no, tell her like I'm hurt. But it's crazy because when we got to hospital, I literally like feel like every time I talk about it, I feel like getting in tears because my whole family was there. They beat us to the hospital. When I tell you, like, my cousins, my dad lived all the way in Massachusetts. He was there. I had like 5 cousins there. My siblings were there. My aunts. my whole family was in the thing, and everybody was coming in my room looking like, what is going on? Like, it was literally filled, like, with everybody in there. And we thought we were going to walk out that same day.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we'll be fine.
Yeah. So, the first doctor came in and he was like, yeah, we were checking everything out. It looks fine.
Seems like you're fine. But one of the doctors wants to do, like, x-ray in your back just to make sure.
MRI, I think.
MRI, yeah.
MRI.
Oh, MRI, yeah.
Yes,
because I had a whole episode. I had a panic attack in the MRI. Because I didn't know I had
and that's a little tight thing, right?
Girl, I've had MRIs on my knee, but your head is out. This time I had to go head first. I was only supposed to be in there for 20 minutes or so.
She was in there for like an hour.
I was in there for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, but you can't move, right? They have to
can't
try
move.
again.
They had to put ice packs on me. Like, I couldn't stop sweating. I'm like, I've never in my life experienced this. Like, it was the craziest thing. And then they came back. They're like, the results will come back in 30 minutes and we'll let you know and let you go. They came back in 5 minutes and told me, they were like,
don't move.
They're like, you are so close to being paralyzed. Like, do not move. Like, if I were to move in the bed or anything, like, I couldn't even get up to use the bathroom. I had to use like a bedpan. I literally had to like barely move. I couldn't move I got the surgery 2 days later, right?
Yes. So she was laying on her.
So you couldn't move for 48 hours.
I couldn't move for 48
yes,
hours.
She was
like,
laying in the same position.
Couldn't move at all. Like, at all.
And it was just crazy because like before the MRI situation, we was laughing. It's like, oh, we about to be able to go home tonight. And
after the MRI, there was no laughs.
No laughs.
And girl, it was nothing.
Like,
it was like
funny.
My dad was like calling people, like people were calling me to pray for me and stuff like that. It was like not funny after that. It was just like, what the heck just happened?
So when they say like you can't move, do they mean like obviously not out the bed, but like if you're like laying, like let's say you're
I didn't move.
You couldn't move like an inch.
She was laying like
I was
this
laying like this the whole
for
time.
48
Like
hours.
I might have like like wiggled. I didn't move to
Turned
my
her
side.
head.
I didn't.
She
I
just
turned my head.
That's
Like
it.
that's it. But I was
no body movements.
How they said they were like any shift in my spine like that's like life or death. Like if I could walk or not. So I was like,
that's
listen.
Terrifying.
Yeah, the first time I hadn't walked for like 4 days.
Yeah.
So my first time walking, I'm like, oh, I got this. I got up.
Almost passed out.
I almost passed out. Like it was like so much like blood was like rushing everywhere because I had been on my back for so long. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That was
That's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
And so I have so many questions. Okay, so right after that, like immediately after that, when you were able to walk and stuff again, was there any like downtime or anything after your surgery? Like,
so my recovery, I feel like it was super quick.
Yeah.
And they were like kind of shocked, but like it was really quick. I did do
because
therapy.
it was a spinal fusion.
Yeah.
So like they pretty much fused two. I forget what they're called, but there's like
lumbars. It had like moved out. So
there's in your spine there's these things like T1 through something, right?
Yeah,
so they have to
lumbars.
fuse like I would say 10, like 11 and 9.
Yeah.
Because 10 was not working. Like if it makes sense. So they had to fuse part of her back together to make it.
And yeah, push it back. So like if your spine is here, like the middle of it came over here, so they had to bring it back and then like fuse it back together.
So that
yeah.
it could stay in place pretty much.
Wow.
And I mean.
But the downtime, I would say like maybe like a month or so until I felt like really back to myself.
Yeah. Which is pretty good because like you think back surgeries is like.
But I was still walking like towards the end of the first week of my surgery. I was able to walk. Yeah, I think the day after my surgery,
you were walking.
I was walking. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I don't know. I'm happy you guys made it through, and you were fine. Like nothing happened to you. During
That day, he literally had like a scratch on his leg.
That was just.
It's probably from running into cars back in the day.
Yeah, no, literally. Probably wasn't even this situation. Yeah, no. But literally, that's all he had was like a scratch. And it's crazy because the police officer, when he came to the hospital to like take statement, he said he thought we were dead.
It sounds like
he said he'd never seen like an accident like that where there was like a survivor.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the world? Because like it was a big accident, but like looking back on it, I'm like, it was very simple.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it was so.
It was simple, but like brakes stopping working. It's just like
after he just got out of the shop,
honestly,
like you wouldn't even think about.
We got blessed because like if I was going any faster, the chances of things being worse.
Because even it sliding off the
because it felt like
cliff.
there's like a little dip.
Yeah.
And the truck was fully loaded, so it could have got really bad.
Yeah.
And I was just thankful that it's funny because like playing it back, I was like beating myself up about it at first, and I was just like, the odds of even walking away from this are so slim that I'm just thankful that we were even able to walk away with the damages that we had, because I'm telling you, it was actually crazy.
And that was another question I had. Did you guys have any like mental repercussions after that?
So
Me, I
yes,
did.
she.
Anytime like we're driving and stuff, or he was driving, and I would see brake light in front of me, like I would like brace myself. Like I would just like anytime braking happened, I would be. Even now, like if I'm like going around the corner or something and somebody else is driving, I'm like scared. Like you know, I'm like, can you slow down? Like slow down.
Yeah.
And honestly, me, I didn't really have any. The only thing I can say is probably like maybe 2 weeks after the accident, like I was driving and then I actually, I don't know what happened, and I had like a deja vu moment, and I literally could hear all the sounds of like the trucks, the tires, the glass breaking, all that stuff happening, and I was just like, damn. I heard the actual collision of the truck flip when I was driving one time, and I was just like, whoa, that was crazy.
Yeah. Did you drive trucks after that?
Yeah, so I thought I was done because like I
you
thought
were done for 6 months.
No, I was like 3.
No. Because remember, we didn't start going again until we lost Hendrix. You were done that whole time.
Remember, I started working at Black Horse because I thought.
Oh, okay.
And you went back with him?
You're right.
So so she went back with me after
way a long time,
yeah,
but for like a completely different reason. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. So I started probably driving maybe 3 months after that because I thought my license was done, because I thought like typically if you get a rollover on your record, no job's gonna want to hire you. But just because the state troopers thought I passed away at the scene of the accident, it actually didn't even make it.
And not only that too, there was no skid marks, so pretty much it proved that there was no brakes.
Yeah.
Because if there's brakes in the truck, you would see the skid marks, even if it was still his fault. But there was absolutely no skid marks, so they were like, "Oh, your truck had no brakes," and it showed that it just got picked up from the what is it?
Service.
The service plaza.
Yeah. Okay, so, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
so,
great.
It was God working for sure.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wow. When I got back a job after that accident, I couldn't believe it because like,
are y'all sure?
Yeah, because like when we were in school and they were teaching you like about rollovers, it's like pretty much if you get a rollover, no company's gonna hire you because they're not gonna be able to claim you through insurance.
Right.
Like no insurance wants to deal with that, but thank God.
Everything was like on your side, so that's great.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay, so technically that was your tell me the story again. So your turn.
Okay, so all right, so after that situation, she got pregnant in about, what was it, October of 2019?
So that same year.
Yeah, same year.
So a couple months after.
She got
4
pregnant.
months.
Yeah. So she got pregnant, and we were ecstatic. Like I was still I started driving again, and we were finally back in a better position. And she was pregnant from October to March. Yeah. So about 4 or 5 months she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, she got pregnant in that. I'm like, wait.
She got pregnant in October. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we ended up losing our son in March of 2020, and like that right there was really the breaking point for us because like we just overcame the truck accident, and then 5 months later we're pregnant. We're like, all right, we clear again. We're gonna start, and then we end up. You could actually tell the story if you want. When you're
and not even the breaking point of like our relationship, but just the breaking point of like life.
Like mentally,
what the heck is going on?
And
like even with losing our son, like it wasn't just like a miscarriage. Like he was already like a full baby. So like I had to birth him. I had to do all those things. I was just gonna ask that. Was it like? And it was like accidental, I guess. Well, not accidental. It was just like something happened. I was in esthetician school. I was at
Paul really?
Yeah, I was at Paul Mitchell and
me too. In North Haven? I went there too.
And I was in class and my water broke and I'm like, well, I sneezed and like I was like, oh, I just peed on myself. So that's why my friends was like, you go get a towel because like I peed on myself. And then I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then I stood up and like gushed of water came out, and I texted him. I was like, you probably should come get me like right now because I think my water broke. He's like, what the heck? So he got in the car. He like rushed over to come get me. And when he got me, like I'm crying, whatever.
Well, yeah, she called me and was crying, and I was like, oh shit, this is real. So I flew down there, and on my way down there, I don't know, I must have ran out my tires because I was.
No, this was on the way back. We ran out the tire because then he's trying to get me from North Haven to Farmington because that's where my doctor's is, and then on the highway our tire blew.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, because my doctor was like, you got to get in like right now, come now. So then our tire blew, so he like had to get us off the highway. We had to call the ambulance. Got in the ambulance wouldn't bring me to my doctor because there was a closer hospital, so they brought me to Meriden, which was like the biggest mistake
Yeah, it was
ever.
just the time too, cause like.
Oh my god, and it was such a terrible
And
experience.
it was the worst experience. When I got there, they were like,
why'd you bring her here?
Why'd you bring her
Why'd you
here?
bring her to her
And I'm like,
doctor?
this is not what somebody who's like trying to get care wants to hear. Like,
Right.
why'd you bring her here? Why
Right.
is she not her doctor?
Right.
Like, all these type of things. It's like, are you gonna help me?
Yeah.
Right.
Like
What's
I'm
going
here,
on?
so.
So yeah. So then all that happened, and then pretty much what happens is when your water breaks,
Prematurity. Yeah.
you are at risk for infection, because then that means the baby doesn't have any water around
To
the
protect
baby,
it.
right? So at that point, it's really not much anybody could do. I was gonna give birth to the baby like within the week or whatever,
Yeah.
but we were
So-
hoping the baby would stay in for at least another week,
Right.
because then they could incubate the baby and things of that nature. But that didn't happen because Meriden didn't give me like any antibiotics or anything like that, which could have like possibly helped
Yeah.
me. So then one day,
So they said, all right, we're gonna send you home.
if I get a fever, anything like that, I have to go in
Come
right
back.
away. So we went home maybe 2 days later, a day and a half later.
Yeah.
I literally woke up in the middle of the night. I was shaking.
Yeah.
Like I was like
Chills.
shaking with chills. Like it was like really bad. My temperature was like so
It
high.
was like 103. It's like, damn.
It was like
no
104,
denying.
105.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was no
So we
denying.
literally had to go to the emergency room, and we were able to go to my doctor. But like at that point, they were like, "You have to get the baby out like right now. Like we can't wait. Like we have to get the baby out right now, or we're gonna lose both of you." So
Oh my
then
gosh.
I know another crazy situation.
Yeah.
Like within not even a year,
Yeah.
Guys,
So
my
then-
heart is beating fast. This is a lot.
Girl,
Like.
it's a lot.
It was-
But so then we got the baby out, and he was alive for 7 minutes or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was March 2nd, 2020.
Yes.
Yep, and he was alive for 7 minutes, and then he passed away.
Yep.
Because he was too small to get incubated.
And then now at that age of 21 weeks, you have to have a funeral because it's actually.
Well, because he was
heartbeat.
born and then he
Yeah.
passed away,
Yeah.
so we had a funeral.
Had to have a funeral, the whole nine, and so after he passed away, his funeral was about 2 weeks later, and I mean, we were just like, all right. Like,
This is what I said. It was funny because you asked if I went back on the truck,
Yeah.
and after that, I was like, I done been there, everything.
Yeah,
Might as well go
like,
back
I
on the
was about to
truck.
die a whole bunch of times already.
Yeah,
so,
so I was like,
fuck it.
well, might as well go back on the truck. So we went back on the truck for like a month
So yeah, he passed away in March.
Well, on the truck
Yes,
for a month.
for 1 month. Yeah.
because our car had broke down.
Yep.
Because after that situation, like the car blew.
After
No.
the tire, then that same car.
No, so yeah, after that, I had to get the tires fixed, whatever. But
Yeah.
pretty much after this funeral,
Yeah.
she was like, "Well, I'm not staying home.
By
I'm not
myself,
about to
yeah.
stay home by myself, so
Right.
I'm back on the road with you."
Yeah.
So she get on the truck with me, and then COVID happens. And we just oh, okay, COVID. You know, you could get sick. We're in Maine at the time. We're on our way down to New York City, and I had just started working for a new company, but something was wrong with the first truck that they gave me, so they had put me in a rental. And I was like, all right, cool. So we're in a rental. We're on our way to New York City. After that, like on our way down to New York City, the truck just kept turning off on the road. And I was just like, what? What's this about?
Weird.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And he was like, do you want to do this or not?
yeah, so like I was like, all right. First time I didn't really say nothing. Second time I was like, all right. And then the third time I was like, okay, wait, this is pretty weird. So I was like, all right, do you really want to go? I was like, babe, it don't really make sense for us to go to New York City in the middle of this time. We could potentially get stuck out there. Like, do you want to do this? She's like, honestly,
He was like, do you want to do this or do you want to go home and we can sell food and see where it goes?
yeah,
And I was just like, let's
whatever
try
you
it.
want, whatever you want to do.
I
So
was like, let's
all
try
right.
sell food. Like, this is just crazy, whatever. I was like, at this point, I know our faith is in us. And I was like, whatever we're going to do
We gonna make
together, we're going to make it. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I ended up just turning the truck around, bringing it to East Hartford,
Yeah.
dropping it off, calling the company, and just letting them know, like, yo, I'm done. Go
Truck
get
is
your
there,
truck,
Yeah.
whatever. Which is terrible, because
Yeah.
like as a truck driver, you do that,
Yeah.
your chances of getting another job is slim to none.
But you were really done. So
Yeah.
it's just like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, we had made up in our mind.
There's no,
Yeah.
no more. And then literally on the way back from dropping off the truck, our car blew up on the highway, and I was like,
Literally
okay.
blew up. Like something, what did he say, a piston or something?
Yeah, a piston misfired and
Shot out of the engine. Some crazy
jump.
thing.
Crazy, and it was just so crazy because once that happened, I was like, God, ain't no turning back. Like,
Yeah.
here's what it is. We just gonna leave the car here. If it's
It
done,
was the
it's done.
craziest thing. I'm just like, we just quit your job. And here goes the car.
I was
Oh
like-
my god.
It was the craziest thing, but his mom let us use her car for like a whole entire month.
Yeah, and that's when I really started selling food.
And we started selling food that whole entire COVID, the first like April.
Yeah.
April. And then at the end of April, we were able to buy a whole new car. We bought a car outright and we were good. But that's what really like started Pop's Kitchen. Like all the tragedy and all the chaos, it finally like started to turn up and go like
2019
the
was
right
a
way.
year for y'all.
Oh man.
2019, 2020 was like
it was a
the
heck
worst.
It was a heck.
And then the most beautiful, because then it's like
Yeah.
we did Papa's Kitchen full time, made the most money we've ever made like in our lives, like
That's so
doing
good.
something that he always wanted to do together.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, it was good.
It was exciting.
At the end of the chaos.
Yeah.
It was a
And
journey
that's just
to
a
get
testament to like when things get rough, you kind of just gotta stand firm
there. Yeah.
because like it's easy to
Get taken out by like the tragedies of life just by accident, like or just because like it sucks,
Yeah.
you know. But we didn't like one thing about us is like we never like sulk in something.
Yeah.
Like even as a kid I knew that about myself. Like I never sulked in like any tragedy or anything. But then to bring that together in our relationship, I think that's what helped us to continue through life because like so many things have happened to us, but like we never sat and been the victim
Right.
in any of those situations,
Yeah.
like
Right.
ever. Like we were like, all right, cool, boom. Now what we gonna do?
How we gonna pivot?
Back to the drawing board. Like literally every single time, like we have family meetings every single day. We're like, all right, what we gonna plan for this time? Like
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah. I honestly feel like you guys were made to be together because, like,
Yeah.
I already kind of got your vibe of how you are, like, that way, like, just always trying to pivot and, like, make things better. But
Mhm.
now meeting you more,
Yeah.
like, you guys are just made to be together.
Yeah,
and then
no,
how you
seriously.
trying to find her.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just so lovely.
I
I
feel
love
like
this.
it's so funny because like obviously like he's the face because a lot of times like in our earlier years and stuff like that, Pop's Kitchen, I didn't like to be like, you know, seen. Like I didn't like any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I would always like, you know, be like the mastermind and like even when he first tried to sell food and I gave him my whole entire paycheck one time.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't
I
bring
make
me
no
back
money.
nothing. And I'm like, this can't, you have to learn how to make it profitable, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think like we started from the ground literally together, figuring out like how to make something profitable, how to make it work and stuff like that through so many trial and errors. Like so many people don't even know the behind the scenes.
Right.
They just see like the product of like cooking and food and stuff like that. It was like, it was so much
Yeah,
fun.
honestly, she made the first mac and cheese when I was selling food.
Oh yeah, when he
I
used to
didn't-
sell food,
I
I
didn't
used
know
to
how
make the mac and cheese.
yeah.
He never knew how to make mac and cheese, yeah.
And then I just like, you know, just used to just meditate and try to plan and just try to come up with my own way, and eventually I was able to learn a way.
I think the best thing is we know our strengths and our weaknesses in a
Yes.
relationship to make them work
Yeah.
for something like bigger, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's really important.
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Those
Yeah.
are amazing stories. This is like one of my best episodes ever. Okay, let's get to my next segment. So my next segment is like a this or that. So just something like a little lighthearted, chill, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna be a little messy. But
Okay.
single or relationship?
Relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Relationship, for sure.
100%.
Why?
You can go first.
Okay, all the things that like we talked about in this episode, like think about getting through stuff by yourself.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it is like kind of well for me like that much harder to get through something like to pull yourself out mentally by yourself. Like I feel like that's super hard.
Yeah.
And then just like enjoying life with one person, like I mean, I told you I had so many siblings. I grew up with so many people in the house. Like I just feel like it's more fun like in life just having your person to go through life with. Like,
Yeah,
you know? I don't
yeah.
know. What
Why
do you
for
think?
you?
For me personally, I just value the peace of mind that you get sharing yourself with one person as opposed to multiple people because like I have super bad trust issues and like I get really paranoid. So just like even before me and her got together, like I was dating, I was talking to multiple girls, and then it got to the point for me where I was just like, yo, I'm done with this. Like I don't even want to do this anymore. And I literally, I told God, I was like, yo, I'm out the game if you send me somebody that's worthy. And he did, so I was like, I ain't no looking back. And personally, I just feel like coming from where I come from, growing up, like they always glorified having multiple girls, being the player, But then again, like as a young man, you don't understand how much wasted energy you put into that you could put into so many other things to make your life actually flourish. Because like chasing girls it consumes a lot of your energy. Like it's a heavy part of your life. Like regardless of you try to admit it or not, it takes a lot to deal with multiple people, to think about multiple situations. It's just too much. And like, if you was to just channel that energy into something else, or even one person, you could get a lot further, and you could actually learn a lot more.
Yeah.
As opposed to wasting that energy. So like, I learned that from just my own trials and tribulations, and after I was able to wise up and see the difference, I was just like, this is not it. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then I just started to think about it, like, God made it this way for a reason, in the sense of like, for example, it takes two people to create a kid. You know what I'm saying? Each person is valued in that aspect. So I didn't want to get too crazy and just like get lost.
Yeah, I feel that. Religion or spirituality?
Spiritual, yeah.
Religion is, I personally, like, I hate it. In the sense, because like, I didn't really go to church that much growing up, but when I did, the things that I saw, it never sat well with me. Like, just even from...
Like, literally saw?
Yes, like, because as a kid without explanation, you don't understand the why behind. Like, if you go to church and you see somebody catch the Holy Ghost, right? As a kid, you don't know what that actually is.
Yeah.
And it's left up to your own perception.
And I think it's even deeper than that, though. I think it's also going to church with somebody or your family or whatever, and then you're going home, and it's like
no dialogue.
It's not the same thing. It's like, well, we go to church and we acting all like holy, and we sitting here like this, and then we go home, it's like y'all cussing each other out, y'all doing this and that. So I think it's also that kind of like confusion, but also too, we started recently going to a church that we found, but they also talk about being spiritual instead of religion.
Yes.
And I think that's
spiritual is a relationship with God.
Exactly you and who God is. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It's not the show that you try to put on or whatever.
Be good on Sundays or
right, whatever. Yeah. But it's just about you and your own personal relationship with what you want to have with God and stuff like that. So.
And like, although I didn't go to church as much as a kid, I had a relationship with God throughout my whole life.
And that was his spiritual connection.
Spiritual connection. And I was able to understand the difference between the two, because I'm like, I've never been to church. I don't even know much about it, but I know who God is, and I know what the relationship is like with him if you are obedient to what he says and things of that sort. So
yeah, I feel like I'm like the same way. Like, I never really liked the whole religion vibe, just because I don't know, I'm a free-spirited person, so I don't really want to be told like what to do, how to act, what to wear. Yeah,
and that's like we wore this to church. Like we wear what we want to wear to our church.
Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. It's not you walk in and you feeling judged, eyes on you. And I told him, I was like, this is because it was new for me, because I told you I grew up in this church right here. So then going to that church and I'm like, we're wearing normal clothes. Like we walking in and nobody's like looking out at the outcast or whatever, because you don't feel like an outcast. It's just like normal, like, you know.
And honestly, there's one specific memory that I have of church that just turned me off to it. It was New Year's. I don't remember how old I was, but there is a family that I respect more than, I don't know them. I never had a conversation with them, but it was New Year's Eve and it was probably 11:30, and this family walked in with, it was probably like a family of 5 or 6 people. They didn't have no church clothes on. They had just regular, they had what they had, you know what I'm saying? And they walked into the church and so many people was like judging them. And I was just like, these people are so strong to come up in church right before it ends in their regular clothes, and you know what I'm saying, just go to try to accept God and get judged so hard. And I was just like, after seeing that, it just disgusted me, because I'm like, how could these people come to a place of worship and get treated like that? No one said anything, but you could read the room, and you could feel how.
And it's like, how are all of y'all like regular churchgoers here, and this is how y'all act?
Exactly.
And I respected them so much, because I was like, wow, whatever's going on in their life, they was like, we need to seek God and we gonna go get him.
No matter what.
And I was like, wow, this is the most beautiful moment ever. Because I was like, wow, that's power right there.
Yeah.
But
spiritual.
Definitely spiritual. We're all in that together. Let's see. Outgoing, I kind of know the answer to this, but outgoing or no, like introvert or extrovert?
I'm an extrovert.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle, honestly. Like, my whole life I would always say introvert.
Yeah.
But, like, now that I feel like I'm becoming, I don't know, maybe I found, like, a voice that I didn't know that I had. I love to talk to people now. Like, it's weird. I always say, like, he's, like, the extrovert, and I'm just, like, here, like, the wallflower. But, like, I feel like the paradigm has like shifted.
Yeah, we seen you like your videos and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, period.
I just feel like even like now, like the people I talk to and stuff like that, like even when I'm out in public and people come up to me and like, oh, blah blah blah, whatever, like I'm very more like talking. I don't know, it's weird, but yeah.
Do you feel like you've evolved since you become a mom, or just over the years? It's just.
I think I would say it would be because I became a mom and realized like when I got drawn into motherhood the first year and like I really kind of lost myself, and then like coming out of that and realizing like, yes, I could be a great mom, I could be a great me like person, realizing that like I could be good at a lot of things, not just being a mother. Like I think that really like empowered myself and like to really flourish and feel like who I am.
I love
That's
that.
weird.
Okay, my last is for that. Would you guys rather go out like for date night or stay in and like do date night at home?
Go out. Yeah,
I
go
feel
out.
that.
We would definitely like
now like going out.
Our going out is like a nice little sit down, like fancier type of vibe spot. Yeah, for sure. Like that's what we like to do.
Okay.
Try different like cuisines and stuff like that.
What's your guys' favorite food?
Like, well, I really like Asian cuisine. Like I love like all types of Asian food.
Mine is I just like authentic food. So I just like real cooking, you know what I'm saying? Like if you go to a Mexican spot, they're actually making Mexican food and not American Mexican food.
Right.
Like, you know, I just like to go to places where they're authentic. So that's my favorite style. Like I could always appreciate any culture as long as it's just like really close to the roots.
I feel that. Okay, my final question that I like to ask everybody. I'm all about like mantras or like words of affirmation, whatever you want to call it. But what's one mantra, you guys can both answer, that you like always repeat to yourself like throughout life, or just something that like, I don't know, you really believe in and you feel like it gets you through good times, bad times?
Well, I have Stay Strong right here on my wrist, and I got this when I was like 17 or 18. I have been through so many things in my life, but like I always like through like anything, I'm always like, I'm gonna get through it. Like stay strong, stay strong, stay strong. Like you're always gonna get through it. So I think that's like something that like always has stuck with me through like my entire life. Like even like with my daughter, like when something happens to her, I'm like, you know, like bad things happen sometimes, but it's alright. Like stay strong, like keep going. Like we're gonna get through it. So I think stay strong would be mine.
I love that.
Mine is you fall down 7 times, you get up 8. Because like you're gonna fall, you're gonna mess up, you're gonna make mistakes, but it's just about the comeback. And like, I'm more so always about the comeback, because like after all the experiences that I've had in my own life, it's just like I realize that if you stay down, you can never win. If you get back up, you can always conquer whatever it is.
Always a chance.
And I'm always for that chance, whatever the chances is. Even if it's the slightest one, I'm always go for it, because it's always there.
I love that about you guys. That was so good. Okay, so to wrap up, I'll have you guys share your like handles or anything for people to follow you or anything like that.
So you can follow me on Instagram. I'm not gonna say TikTok because TikTok is going away. But being_Amonnie, that's BEING_Amonnie, AMONNIE, and then we also have a family page that's Thomas Family Ties.
Thomas Family, THOMAS. Okay, you know how to spell the rest. And then my Instagram is Papa's Kitchen, POPPAS Kitchen _, and then the restaurant account is Soul Bowls, SOULBOWLS. We're gonna take it over soon.
Find us. Oh, and we're on YouTube also, even though somebody is not editing our videos.
We're working on YouTube. Thomas Family Ties.
Period. And definitely check out the restaurant. Probably anytime you go, I'll be there because I'm always there. Oh my god, so let me tell you, right? So I was like going through like a craving time when I just like craved it like every day. And every day I'm like, he was always there. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna think I'm big as hell. Like I was literally there like 3 or 4 days in a row, and both locations too. And every time I was there, he was there.
I was like, oh god,
me again, me one more time. As for the podcast, guys, follow us on Instagram at TSO Pod, and I should have said this earlier, but if you're not subscribed already to this channel, subscribe. Make sure you like this video, drop a comment. I definitely want to do a part 2 with you guys. So if you guys have any questions for them that you want me to ask them next time around, please comment them. And until next time, guys, bye.
Be easy.